and your North Central College Cardinals. The NCAA, North Central College, and the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We respect your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, spectators, or team representatives, as well as public intoxication and consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages and tobacco products are grounds for removal from the stadium and other disciplinary actions. Introducing today's starting lineup, first for the Pioneers. Number 4, Paul Kirchberger. Number 13, Jeff Schultz. Number 15, Eric Ranjo. Number 20, Zach Mertens. Number 23, Peter Amasarelli. Number 25, Brad Gabrys. Number 29, Ian McClintock. Number 39, Joe Fowler. Number 44, Cordell McNamara. And in goal, number 43, Abe Escarda. The Pioneers are coached by Brian Nowak. And now the starting lineups for your North Central College Cardinals. Number 2, Noah Carroll. Number 5, Sean Tamanari. Number 6, Stephen Foe. Number 9, John Fitzgerald. Number 11, Tommy Huizinga. Number 18, Jared Weaver. Number 22, Stephen Dale. Number 24, Tanner James. Number 34, Kashmir Plonzinski. And in goal for the Cardinals, number 32, Zane Hartz. Head coach of the Cardinals is Jay Farrell. He is assisted by Blake Keenan and Trevor McNamara. Fans at this time enthusiastically rise and face the flag at the south end of the field as we honor America with the playing of the national anthem.
Welcome into Benedetti Worley Stadium, everybody. A matchup between CCIW teams, North Central hosting Carroll. Men's lacrosse action here on NCTV 17. Welcome in. I'm Kevin Jackman. Thanks for joining us this evening. The Cardinals coming in 7-2. They're 0-1 in conference play, having lost to Illinois Wesleyan in their last match. Meanwhile, Carroll still searching for their first win of the season. They're 0-10, 0-1 in conference play, and have taken some pretty disheartening losses so far this year. We'll get into all that and more. The starters for this contest are as followed, and we'll start with the visiting team. Paul Kirchberger will start for Carroll. Jeff Schultz, number 13. Number 15, Eric Ranjo. Number 20, Zach Mertens. Number 23, Peter Misarelli. Number 25, Brad Gabris. Number 29, Ian McClintlock. Number 39, Joe Fowler. Cordell McNamara. Number 44, and in goal, number 43, Abe Escarada. As we're just about set to get underway, the Cardinals lineup will come shortly. As we're getting ready for the opening control is Kazimir Plazlinski trying to claim that for North Central. And finally, Noah Perro had it, lost it momentarily, still loose and on the ground. Finally popped up in the air and controlled by North Central's Sean Tamarani. And with all that said, the Cardinals will get the first offensive opportunity with Stephen Foe controlling on the far side. Noah Perro, Sean Tamarani, Stephen Foe, 2, 5, and 6 respectively. John Fitzgerald and Tommy Huizinga starting as well. The leading scorer for this North Central team, Jared Weaver, number 18. Tanner James, a dynamic senior, the only one listed on the roster after coming over as a transfer from Beloit. Stephen Dales, Zane Hartz in net, Kazimir Plazlinski are the other starters. That one misses wide and out of play it goes. Action is around the 20-yard line with Jacob Ray. He gets it right back. Behind the net he goes. Weaver has it, waits patiently, spins back towards play looking for an option. And that one is going to roll again out of play. The Cardinals will continue to have it. And it's going to be Carroll possession. Racing up the field is Jeff Schultz. And that one will skip up and out of play. .13 to go, first quarter of play. Up at the top now with Jeff Schultz. Thrown out ahead, and here comes Noah Perro. Perro getting by a defender and past midfield and into the offensive end. He goes over the middle, and there's a quick strike. Tommy Huizinga connects on the first goal of our contest, and North Central drawing first blood. Huizinga, a junior from New Lenox, went to Lincoln Way East. A 6-foot, 175-pound midfielder, having a pretty strong season, 19 goals, 12 assists, totaling up 31 points. That's second best on the Cardinal team. So the Cardinals up 1-0. There's 12:51 on the board. As the Cardinals look to bounce back from that loss against Illinois Wesleyan, a very interesting loss, kind of a strange affair in which the Cardinals looked really good early on, leading 3-2 against the Titans, who have been world beaters over the last few years, as Weaver hesitates and rifles it in off the bounce. And just like that, it's a 2-0 lead for North Central. For Weaver, who leads this team in goals, that's his 44th point.
Number 18, Jared Weaver.
But getting back to that Illinois Wesleyan game, and after taking that 3-2 lead, the Cardinals were outscored 12-1 over the remainder of that game. Illinois Wesleyan just seemed to flip the script and kick it into a different gear. And the Cardinals had very little to say about it. Good stick check, and now the Cardinals coming whizzing in. Plazlinski puts it into the back of the twine. The Cardinals are firing on all cylinders in the opening few minutes. 2.5 minutes in, they're up 3-0.
Cardinal goal by number 34, Kazimir Plazlinski.
Plazlinski, he's just a freshman from Crystal Lake. Listed as a defender, but scoring here. And that is his 6th goal of the season. So we knew that this Carroll team might struggle tonight, but to give up 3 goals in the very opening moments is certainly a tough pill to swallow. A battle for it at midfield, and yet again it looks like the Cardinals will come away with it. And in fact, they do. Stephen Foe working his way up the sideline patiently. Huizinga has it behind the net. Lights have been flipped on. Dusk is upon us as Noah Carroll will fire one in. A flag comes in as the ball whizzes out of play. And here comes the call, and they'll send off one of the Pioneers. That's midfielder Michael Peters, a sophomore from Chicago, went to Notre Dame College Prep. He'll make his way into the penalty box, and the Cardinals will play with a man advantage. And they'll stop play for a moment. They'll restart on that far side with Foe, a New York native. This Cardinal team, perhaps more than other North Central rosters, peppered with out-of-state products. As Carroll has it. Carroll in a zone. Weaver trying to beat it, and he does, going 5-hole. Slips it past Escarada, and the Cardinals are absolutely crushing these first 3.5 minutes.
Goal, number 18, Jared Weaver.
For Weaver, that's already his 2nd goal. As the Cardinals look ticketed for a pretty big win. We're not even 4 full minutes into this game. Most goals scored in a game so far this season for the Cardinals, 20 against the University of Dallas. That coming back on March 19th. That was in Texas. Over a 2-game span, which outside of the scope of games was only 4 days of action, Cardinals outscored opponents 38-6. Not just against the University of Dallas, but also La Roche College. That was when the Cardinals were still perfect on the season, having won 6 consecutive out of the chute. Since then, have dropped 2 out of their last 3, including one still in Texas at the Southwestern College. That was a 17-9 score as Noah Carroll slips it across, and another easy score for Weaver as he has a hat trick. And you can see the Cardinals seem less than enthused, less than normal, I should say, after a goal.
Number 18,
With that being a 5-0 lead now for North Central.
Number 2, Noah Carroll.
Carroll not putting up a ton of resistance. This is, well, obviously a very disappointing year. 0-10 to this point. Last year they were 2-12 and winless in conference. Brian Novak, the head coach, in his 3rd season has amassed only 6 wins, 6-34. Trying to make something of this program, and it is difficult, especially in this area. You think of lacrosse, you think of the East Coast, and the schools out there obviously known for their lacrosse prowess. But Illinois Wesleyan has been very good. Their roster is basically the size of a football roster, and this Cardinal team, 3 years young, is certainly getting its footing as well. And a penalty will give the Pioneers the ball inside the 30-yard line. Jay Farrell has done a good job at continuing to try and supplement this roster that was initially built on the strength of freshmen. 3 years ago, he started this thing from scratch, came over from Benedictine, where he had done basically the same thing with that school. And now, in 2019, has this North Central Cardinal team 3 years in looking pretty formidable. Brandon Pearl, a former goalie, controls behind the net and gets it across. Tamanari controls. Airmails one teammate and able to find the stick of Stephen Foe instead. Weaver behind the net. Tommy Huizinga observing the action in front of him. Now makes a move and has it slip out the side of the pocket. Ball still loose and on the ground, and a penalty. And the Cardinals will get possession after a push by Carroll. Lights have taken full effect as the sun has, for all intents and purposes, descended. As Huizinga scores again, and North Central off to a roaring start, 6-0.
Cardinal goal by number 11, Tommy Huizinga.
9:37 to go in the opening quarter, and the Cardinals lead 6-0. Huizinga scoring his second. Jared Weaver has 3. And again, the Pioneers unable to really do anything on either end. They've hardly had a possession on the offensive end. Zane Hartz, I don't believe, has had a shot on him to this point, as Kazimir Plonzinski stands at midfield waiting to try and get this one for the Cardinals. And it looks like Carroll will pick it up. Zach Mertens gets it ahead to Paul Kirchberger. And Kirchberger will defer back towards midfield. Up at the top, a shot on goal, and Hart's able to block it from Eric Ronjo. And here come the Cardinals. Brandon Pearl getting pushed and shoved past midfield, stops before the 40-yard line, and will give off. Tanner James waiting, looking for some reinforcements, it seems. Matt Scheinfeld near side, standing on the hash marks. Opportunity for perhaps some of those younger guys to get into this game, as opposed to the starters who have already done significant damage, leading 6-0. Peril behind the net. Now Weaver goes back out. Peril submarines and misses just barely wide. Weaver will pick up an extra ball behind the end line and reinitiate the sequence. Tanner James back to Weaver. Weaver swings it around the horn. Weaver to James, and his shot not even close. Airmails the top crossbar. Beautiful day here in Naperville. Temperatures in the mid-60s, and that's not expected to last long. So fans and players alike will certainly enjoy this one before they have projected freezing rain and snow and temperatures in the 40s descends upon Naperville tomorrow. I feel like we've been spoiled so far this spring with some gorgeous weather. And that cold reality of Chicago winter seems to creep back in every single April. We always seem surprised by this fact. And then here it comes. We have another game tomorrow night. The women will take center stage here at Benedetti Worley Stadium, and unfortunately for them, it appears their game will come a day too late if they were hoping for some beautiful weather. A few years ago, they actually played a game in the snow, as Huizinga gets a shove in the back and still able to convert. 7-0 now, the lead for North Central over Carroll. 6:58 to go, first quarter.
Goal by number 11, Tommy Huizinga.
So Huizinga and Weaver both with 3 goals, and the Cardinals are running away, literally and figuratively.
Timeout taken by Carroll.
And a timeout will be taken by the visitors. We'll take one too. We'll step aside. We'll be back on NCTV 17. Welcome back into the broadcast following the timeout taken by Carroll. They'll try and right the ship and offer up some resistance to this relentless Cardinal attack. 7-0 North Central leads. A couple of hat tricks already up on the board. Tommy Huizinga and Jared Weaver. Assists, 2 of them from Noah Carroll, and that's it. Speaking of, Carroll controls. Gives way to Jacob Ray. Fades behind the net, backpedaling towards the end line. Gives off to Tanner James. James behind the net, goes up top, and that's a ball shot towards midfield. Swinging it around the horn, and the shot blocked by Escarada. Scheinfeld clanks it off the goalie. 5:45 to go. And a big collision on the play, and Cardinals will benefit from a whistle. Pushed down was Shane Todd, a freshman from Plainfield North. Noah Carroll evades a defender, goes up top, and Ray unleashing a BB towards the net, but finds the netting of the goalie Escarada. However, the pass intercepted by the Cardinals. Pushed ahead, and Carroll continues to direct the offense. You can hear some of the instructions being barked at the Pioneers, which is talk. Seems like one of their emphasis is to try and communicate better, perhaps, as Tanner James snipes the top right shelf, giving North Central an 8-0 lead, less than 11 minutes into this game. 4:16 to go in the first quarter. Certainly on their way to a bounce-back win after a loss to Illinois Wesleyan. Out in front, opportunity here for the Pioneers as the Cardinals defend it well. Might have been wise for the Pioneers to try and simply unleash a shot. Threaten the goalie for the Cardinals. Hart has made 2 saves, and that's about it. Escarada has made 5, but has given up 8 goals. Is out of the reach, and the Cardinals will pick it up. Pop loose, shot on goal, picked up by Hart. Tamanari slips past the defender. Lofts it ahead. Carroll jumps and collects. .3:10 to go, first quarter. Beautiful setting here at Benedetti Worley Stadium tonight. Wind seems to be picking up a little bit. You can hear that over our field microphones. Scheinfeld spins, gives off to Tanner James, who slips it behind the net. Carroll accepts, and now Shades fires across field. And the shot missed. Stephen Foe lost track of it. Cardinals awarded possession. Cardinals content with just moving it around. Weaver behind the net. Now Carroll. And the clock expired. The Cardinals' 90-second window to try and get something in the back of the net is up. And an offside's called on Carroll. That is simply a mental mistake. James thought about it, deferred for a better shot, and Escarada will claim missed pass. Speaking of, Cardinals will benefit from one. Cardinals really utilizing the perimeter, trying to find a crevice and score. .50 seconds to go until the end of the quarter. And outside that goes, and a penalty marker on the play. Cardinals will collect, and they get the benefit of holding on until Carroll gets a stick on it. Cardinals have 8 seconds to fire it off. Weaver dekes, now shoots and bounces it past Escarada. 13.8 seconds to go in the quarter. The Cardinals down to just 3 or 4 seconds on the shot clock and able to get it off. Weaver has his 4th, and it's now a 9-0 game. So Weaver with 4 on 5 shots. Also has an assist. Certainly standing out in this one. And a whistle will blow the play dead with 8 seconds to go in the quarter. And just 5 seconds to play. It looks like Carroll certainly will let it run out. And that'll be how the first 15 ends. Cardinals lead 9-0. We'll be back for the next quarter on NCTV 17.
I just did it right now.
Oh, cool. That makes sense. Yeah, just a little bit wider.
Okay.
Yeah. Initially, it was just a little too tight.
Okay. So do you want me wider than I was the second time, or
Just a little bit, yeah.
Okay, gotcha,
Yep.
for sure.
It's just that when the quality gets kind of changed out once you get like we're sending it to the station. The station is then sending it out,
Gotcha.
and when you're moving as quickly as you are, the
Right.
camera works great, but the fidelity gets lost and things
Okay.
become a little bit blurry.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, man.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yep, no worries. Kevin, could you give me a thumbs up if it's good?
Welcome back to NCTV 17. The Cardinals putting a hurt on the Pioneers to this point. Have dominated the early portion of this one to the tune of a 9-0 score. Only one quarter in the book. So the Cardinals are on pace for a 36-0 game. James behind the net. His pass was tipped, and Cardinals will get it around the 40-yard line. Stephen Foe gives off behind the net. That one's last touch by Wheaton. Make that Carroll. Both teams are orange. Fired on net. Escarada blocks. And then the teammate scoops it back towards him. Rifles it ahead towards midfield. And here come the Pioneers led by Christopher Bechtel. Controlling now is Kirchberger. Gives back to Bechtel. Kirchberger up top. Is Carroll looking to just maintain possession and get a good shot on goal. They've had one or two good looks, but that's about it. Cardinal defense coming to the aid of each other and able to knock that out of the stick of Michael Peters. And the penalty will give Carroll possession here. With it is Cordell McNamara, a 6', 260-pound sophomore. That pass lost in translation, now thrown ahead, and this might roll out of play. Yes, it will. Good effort there from Jared Weaver. Long pass. Batted back towards the Carroll goal and picked up, and now the Cardinals rushing into the offensive end. Cardinals working it around. Ray gets it back up top to Scheinfeld. Zips it across. Peril now to the far side. Huizinga behind the net with Weaver. James is the man standing in the middle. Cardinal ball. Behind the net and now pass back around. Cardinals with 15 seconds to work with on the shot clock. 11:11 to go on the game clock here in the second quarter. James fires it into the stick of Escarada. Escarada, junior from Sammamish, Washington. There's a lot of M's in there. Excuse me. 6'3", 395-pound junior. Has looked pretty good in net tonight. I mean, you really want to put it in perspective. The Cardinals have had a lot of opportunities from near point blank on him. He's made 7 saves. You look at the goals scored against, and you would say that's not a very good goalie, but 16 shots, particularly in lacrosse, you know, a 44% save percentage when a team is living on your half of the field is pretty good, all things considered. Dylan Koss, the Cardinals' main goalie, maintains a 60% save percentage and surely doesn't face the same harassment that Escarada has so far tonight. Pass goes off the shin pad, and the Cardinals didn't know where it went. Big whack jars it loose and picked up by Tamanari. He'll pass it on ahead, and Huizinga will cross midfield. Shot batted down almost immediately after leaving the stick of Weaver. Ball picked up by Carroll. Passing up a good shot for a great shot. And Eric Ronjo gets the Pioneers on the board. Now a 9-1 game.
Pioneer goal by number 15, Eric Ronjo. Assisted by number 33, Michael Peters.
.909 to go here in the second quarter, and the Cardinals lead cut down to 8. Temperature has begun to fall. Not much, just a cool wafting air has popped up into the press box here atop Benedetti Worley Stadium. Gorgeous night to take in a game. I perhaps would say that it's a gorgeous night to watch a game. You can take us anywhere. You can find us on nctv17.com. You can stream us on your phone, tablet, laptop. That one's snagged by Escarada. So if you're so inclined to enjoy what a gorgeous night it is, you could take us outside. Do a little grilling, take in the game, Sounds pretty picture perfect to me. Peters has it, waiting for reinforcements to come in off the bench. Eight minutes and change to go here in the first half. With the ball, Zach Mertens gets it across. And the Cardinal defense will produce a turnover, and here comes John Fitzgerald. Haven't really called his name much because the Pioneers haven't had a whole lot of chances on his end of the field. Delayed penalty. Perhaps too many guys on one half of the field. And that will be the instance here for the Pioneers as Escarada scoops, and that'll have the play blown dead with 7:11 to go. And some players will be whisked off for Carroll. Cardinals will reinitiate it on the offensive end. Cardinals haven't lost to Carroll in both programs' short existence, a 2-0 record, including a 24-2 sound defeat last year. James outside, swung around. Shot from Jacob Ray off the post, out of play. My goodness. Carroll's only conference loss has come to Elmhurst. That was 27-4. Elmhurst, meanwhile, is 6-6 overall. Illinois Wesleyan sits atop the conference, both 2-0 in conference play and also with a 10-1 record. Carthage, which dropped its opening match in conference play, is 9-3. So 9-2 in the non-conference portion of the schedule is pretty impressive. Cardinals spending a lot of time on the offensive end. There's a goal for Tommy Huizinga. 10-1 now. North Central leads. 5:50 to go in the second quarter. Weaver with the assist, and that is a perfect segue into the conference statistical leaders. Weaver is fourth in the conference, behind Mac Harden of Elmhurst, Will Rossi of Illinois Wesleyan, and Noah Lindner of Carthage. Weaver checking in at 3 goals a game, precisely. Assist-wise, he's second in the conference, 2.11, behind only Marcus DeAndle of Elmhurst. And because he's so high on both lists, and the only player, aside from Noah Lindner, on both lists, he is top in the conference in points per game overall, 5.11. So a pretty stellar season for number 18. He picks up another assist. I believe he's up to 6 points. We can check that. And that is, in fact, the case. 6 points. He's assisted on 2 Tommy Huizinga goals. Turnover, and the Pioneers have it. 5:20 to go here in the first half. Point-blank look, and that skips past the stick of the Cardinals goalie Hartz. And out of play. Cardinals, perhaps perceiving this as a slight, I would imagine so, were picked to finish 5th in the conference in the preseason poll, behind both Illinois Wesleyan, Elmhurst, Carthage, and Augustana. After taking a positive step last year, they want to try and continue to build and grow stronger as a program and defy some of those expectations that were laid upon them before a game was even played. Jacob Ray gets it outside. Foe to Huizinga. Huizinga patiently waits. Foe back to Huizinga, behind the net Weaver. Weaver from a difficult angle. James with it, goes back up top. Cardinals firing it around the horn like a baseball team trying to convert a triple play. There's a sneaky shot put on goal by Foe, and Escarada able to react to it appropriately. Under 4 to go in the first half. Long pass and gets past the stick of a Cardinal and picked up by Kirchberger. Sitting and waiting. And now they'll go. Bechtel gives off. Far side, Peter Amisarelli. Check that. That's Danny McGee on the far side, excuse me. Sometimes those 23s and 22s look a little similar. Bechtel airmails his teammate, and that goes out of play. The Cardinals will have it. 2:57 to go. It's a 10-1 lead for North Central. Cardinals set it up on the offensive end. Needing one more to get double digits. At least stretch the lead to double digits, I should say. Up top, that's deflected by a Pioneer and out of play. Cardinals will be awarded possession. Foe picks it up off the turf, and here we go. 40 seconds to work with offensively on the shot clock. Half winding to a close. Pass up top, unable to be collected by the Cardinals, and that rolls out of play. Pioneers will have it around the 35-yard line or so. Kirchberger goes to midfield. Finds his teammate Michael Peters. One goal for Carroll came here in the second quarter on a backdoor play against Hartz, the sophomore goalie from Indiana. And a big collision, and no whistle or a flag. Cardinals will get it, and looking around on the play was Eric Ronjo, who couldn't believe that he didn't get the benefit of either some laundry or at least a whistle. 1:15 to go. And now 1 minute to go here in the first half. Cardinals can waste almost all of this on this offensive possession. Likely will try to do so. Up top with Weaver, swings it around, finds Ray. Submarine and scooped up by Escarada. So the Cardinals will likely be denied the opportunity to go into the half up by double figures. In fact, if Carroll has its way, they'll go into the half down by only 8. Although that pass sneaks through, and the Cardinals will have it with 10.6 seconds to go. Tamanari waits for the whistle, now gets it, fires it way upfield. Noah Perro with 6 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, oh my goodness. Tanner James puts the Cardinals up by 10 with 1.7 seconds to go. I will bite my tongue. I will never doubt the Cardinals' ability to score in a hurry. Ever again. 11-1 now. And the first half will essentially be over as soon as the official blows his whistle to reinstitute play. And that'll do it. First half is over. And we'll be back for the second half of the Cardinals leading 11-1. Stick around. We'll be back in about 10 minutes on NCTV 17. Welcome back for the third quarter here from Benedetti Worley Stadium. Beautiful night here on campus at North Central College. And a whistle will give Carroll, make that North Central possession as they have flipped sides yet again for this third. The sun is set, the lights have taken full effect, and the breeze is getting a little bit cooler, but still picture perfect night in early spring, especially compared to what is predicted for tomorrow. The women will hold court here at North Central. We'll have that game here on NCTV 17, but it's going to be much colder. Low is projected to be around 37 degrees. And there's even a possibility of snow in the forecast. The minimum, some sort of freezing rain. So we'll see what is on tap for tomorrow night. 30 seconds on the shot clock for the North Central Cardinals to work with on their opening possession here in the second half. Huizinga near side. Finds Noah Carroll, backs it out, Huizinga. Back to Carroll. Carroll sidewinds and fires no good, and Cardinals will now have 12 seconds to work with. 10-goal lead for the Cardinals. 11-1. 5 seconds left. Ball straight up in the air, taken away by Carroll. Escarada has it behind the net. Despite what the score may suggest, Escarada has had a pretty good night in net. All things considered, has stopped a bevy of shots, including some from virtually point blank range. Pop straight up in the air, and the Cardinals will not be able to collect. 12:55 to go. Near midfield. With it is Peters. Ronjo has it. The owner of the only goal so far for Carroll, as his shot attempt is missed wide, and Carroll will have it. McNamara will go behind the net. And we will re-situate ourselves on the near side. As the officials confer. And we're back underway. Shot on goal is snagged by Hartz. And now Noah Carroll kicks up the afterburners and is racing onto the offensive end and threw it in the direction of Stephen Dale, who couldn't bring it in. And a push on the Cardinals will give Carroll the ball near midfield. Taken away by the Cardinals. Good pressure on the defensive end. Tommy Huizinga now with the stick in one hand and sprinting up the field. Unleashes a cannon, and it's picked off by Escarada. Out in front, good spacing, and the pass overshot, and the Cardinals will have it. Carroll, if you're just joining us, let's get a game reset. Comes into this one 0-10. They're 0-1 in conference play. Cardinals dropped their opening CCIW bout with Illinois Wesleyan by a 12-4 score, despite leading at one point 3-2. Cardinals trying to show that they're one of the best teams in conference a year after finishing 6-10 overall. They've already surpassed that total. Carroll trying to get something going on the offensive end, setting up an offensive system. Cardinals have finished 5th in the conference the last 2 seasons, projected to finish there again, and hoping to defy some of those expectations. Tonight marking the second of 4 consecutive home games for North Central, the only 4 they have in the conference portion of the schedule. Ideally, you'd be able to come out of this with like a 3-1 record, if not 2-2, just to go into the final 2 games of the season at Dubuque and at Kenosha against Dubuque and Carthage, with a shot to finish at or above 500 for the first time in program history. Keep in mind the Cardinals won 10 games their first year as a program overall, but still finished with a sub-500 record in the conference. Stephen Foe out in front, gets it over to Tanner James, and his shot high and wide. 8:48 to go, 3rd quarter. Pass is missed, and the Cardinals able to recover. Foe tracks it down. Scheinfeld has it, knocked out of his stick, near side on the sideline, and the Cardinal shot clock will shut the book on that possession. On the far side, the ball near the sideline and lost it out of play. That is a mistake, big one on the part of Carroll. Thomas Atella was getting a lot of pressure there from North Central Shane Todd. Scheinfeld opposite side, now cross-field pass. 7:45 to go here in the 3rd. Weaver heat seeks the far post. Now 12-1 North Central.
Carroll goal by number 18, Jared Weaver. Assisted by number 2, Noah Carroll.
Carroll picks up the assist on the 5th goal of the game from Jared Weaver, as he will continue to add on to his stats. He came in averaging 5 points a game. That will certainly go up now that he has 7. Ground ball won by the Cardinals. Stephen Foe, oh, maybe not. That's near the side of that, and then Foe will pick it up there, right in front of the Cardinal bench. Carroll directing traffic. Cardinals have this one well in hand and just trying to work on some things. James outside. Up top now, Carroll skips one in. Carroll nabs himself a goal, and it's 13-1.
Cardinal goal by number 2, Noah Carroll. Assisted by number 11, Tommy Huizinga.
Huizinga on the assist as the Cardinals continue to pound away on the offensive end. Ball still loose and finally picked up by Scheinfeld. Ahead to Huizinga. .6:30 to go here in the third. Cardinals leading 13-1. Pretty good game so far played by North Central. Behind the net, cross field, and that's a missed opportunity by Huizinga, who couldn't haul it in. That pass had a little mustard on it. 6:05 to play here in the third. Long pass and misjudged by Carroll, but may not matter, and it will. Carroll racing in. Huizinga has it, goes up top to Weaver. Cardinals able to play nice and slow. Really control the pace and control the clock. It's one of the luxuries of having a 13-1 lead. Shot missed there by Carroll. Wide and out of play. Cardinals will still have it. Weaver back to the far side. Scheinfeld near the net. Kicks it out. Now Weaver again bounces it in. 5th goal of the game. Make that 6th. Yeah, that is his 6th. Also has a pair of assists, so up to 8 points in the contest.
Cardinal goal by number 18, Jared Weaver. Assisted by number 15, Matt Scheinfeld.
Scheinfeld on the assist, and that's his first point of the night. Cardinals now lead 14-1. The shot discrepancy is, as you would imagine, pretty large. 40-9. Cardinals have 26 shots on goal and 14 goals. Escarada has stopped 12 shots, which is more than twice as many as Hart has had to stop in net for the Cardinals. One of the only categories that is fairly even is the face-offs, in which Cardinals have that edge 10-7. James outside. Scheinfeld now far side Carroll. Jacob Ray defers down low. Past Huizinga, racing in, puts it in. 15-1 now.
Cardinal goal by number 11, Tommy Huizinga.
So Huizinga scores again, trying to keep pace with Weaver. That's his 5th. Good battle for the face-off at midfield, won by Carroll. 4 minutes to go here in the third. Cardinal defense fanning out. Carroll looking for extra players to boost its chances. Out in front, and pops loose, still scrapped for, and Fitzgerald comes up with it and evades a pair of Pioneers and now gets it ahead. Stephen Dale with it. And Dale will give off to Huizinga and come back towards his end of the field. Weaver on. Scheinfeld with it with under 3 minutes to go here in the third. Cardinals in complete and utter control of this game. Scheinfeld might have had an opportunity there, but the Cardinals trying to maintain their patience. There's a tip pass out of play. Cardinals still with 22 seconds on the shot clock. Outside, Scheinfeld unloads a shot high and out of play. Thomas Attella now in goal. A freshman from Crystal Lake. So Escarada's night is over, at least it appears to be, as the junior concedes the net to the freshman. And a big size difference. We weren't told this announcement as the pass is thrown away, but the size difference gave it away, with Escarada standing at 6'3" and Attella standing at 5'9". So a 6-inch difference appears quite different in net, as you might imagine. Ray tracks it down, keeps it from going out of play. James dumps it down underneath. The shot wide and out of play from Huizinga, trying to tie up teammate Weaver with 6 goals in the contest. James, looks like he wanted to pull the trigger, instead backs out. James missing wide left. 28 seconds on the shot clock for the Cardinals, minute and a second here in the third. (15-1), the Cardinal lead, under a minute to go in the third. That one tipped, and backing out of play it goes. 10 seconds on the shot clock for NCC to work with, and Jacob Bray out of play. 4 seconds now. Huizinga will pick it up. And can the Cardinals get a shot off? That's the question. 3 seconds left, and they're just going to let that come to an end. 31 seconds to play here in the third quarter. "15 ticks remaining. Bechtel with it. Even with the net, thrown across field. Final shot, in! Scored by Danny McGee. And the Pioneers with their second goal of the night with 1.1 second to go.
Pioneer goal by number 22, Danny McGee. Assisted from number 4, Paul Kirchberger.
For McGee, that's his 9th goal. Make that 5th goal of the season. As it's now a 15-2 game with the second remaining. And just like the second quarter came to a close on a face-off, so too will the third. With that said, we'll go to the fourth. 15-2 your score. Final 15 minutes coming up next on NCTV 17. All right, final 15 minutes coming up on NCTV 17. North Central hosting Carroll this evening inside Benedetti Worley Stadium on the campus of North Central College. Most goals in a game, 7. That record owned by Noah Carroll, which came midway through last season against Dubuque. In the same game, Tanner James with 6. But interestingly enough, the Cardinals have a candidate to perhaps break that if Jared Weaver can score 2 more times. He sits with 6 goals, except this time it's a Tanner James shot that gets blocked at the net. This one's out of play. It'll be Pioneer ball. Shot, no good. Picked up by Hartz. .45 to go in the game. And Jacob Ray with it. Cardinals have slowed the pace down considerably since that first quarter, in which they came out firing with 7 goals in just 8 minutes of gameplay. If they maintain that pace, this game, well, I think that'd be kind of unsportsmanlike. Game well in hand, 15-2 here in the fourth quarter. And that shot wide. Cardinals will maintain possession with 18 on the shot clock. Carroll has it as he whips it out of play, and shot clock expires, and that ball is disappearing into the DuPage River. Oh, take that back. It's going to be a Cardinal possession. Must have been touched or tipped by Pioneers. And once again, Cardinal ball. Cardinals can basically just bleed the clock down at this point. Here come the Pioneers. Not a lot of offensive opportunities in this one. Have been able to sneak 2 past Hartz, the sophomore goalie. And there's a goal for Carroll. Nice job there at just trying to make something out of nothing for Jeff Schultz, who's their leading scorer. And it's a 15-3 score now. 11:40 to go here in the fourth. Face off at midfield to get this one back underway. In there for North Central was Bailey Hurd, a freshman defenseman from Hoffman Estates. Cardinals look to have made several changes on the roster as this game has gotten more and more out of reach. Some other names that we don't typically see is Janak Jano. Number 23 is in there. Shane Todd is also into the game. Don't typically call that name. So an opportunity for some of these guys that may sit second on the depth chart to get some varsity time. And I mean, the regulars are still in there. I I mean, Weaver and Huizinga and some of these guys are still in there, so a chance to play within the system with guys that are still playing meaningful minutes. That shot blocked. Scheinfeld missed. And then atones by taking it away. Nice heads-up play. Gets it back to Noah Carroll. Huizinga. And there's a goal for North Central. And Weber, who now ties the program record for goals in a game, ties Carroll with 7 apiece. His next one will break the lead, or break the record.
Weaver.
$10:19 to go here in the fourth. Plenty of time to do so for number 18. Face off at midfield. And Kazimir Plonzinski was back in there for that face off. And it's won by Carroll. 16-3 with almost exactly 10 minutes to go. And the Cardinals committing a penalty. So Carroll will get to hold on and see how long they can possess before the Cardinals will be charged with a penalty. And there is the whistle to blow the play dead, and Carroll will get a new possession. .940 to go, and the Pioneers trying to set up some sort of offensive set to get back on the board. Underneath, and the shot left behind. Cardinals get it with John Fitzgerald claiming it in the middle of the scrum. Under 9 to go. Temperature continues to drop here inside Benedetti Worley Stadium as the night has progressed. As Fitzgerald claims it behind the net. Out in front, and last touch by North Central, I believe. Actually, it's going to be Cardinal ball, and Weaver has it. 8:26 to go. And some subs coming in for both teams. Tanner James goes up top. Cardinals look pretty intent on spacing this out and slow playing it. They're just going around and around and around. James far side to Huizinga. Over the middle. And that one's put in by Weaver. And Weaver now has the program record for goals in a game.
Cardinal goal by number 18, Jared Weaver. Assisted by number 11, Tommy Huizinga.
That is now 8 for Weaver. 10 points in the game. As the Cardinals lead 17-3, he's now the program record for most goals in a game. Pretty exciting stuff for number 18. Weaver, a junior, attended Marmion Academy, comes from Aurora, Illinois, 6 foot 385-pound midfielder. And has put his stamp in this one with 8 goals and 2 assists. Face-off still being fought after. And Carroll's possession. Under 8 minutes to go. Carroll waiting. Jeff Schultz now flies past his first defender. Comes around another, dumps down behind the net. Shot on goal skips past Hartz and out of play. And a timeout taken. Who's this a timeout taken by? I believe it's North Central. We'll step aside too. 7:11 on the clock. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Coming out of the timeout, that was in fact taken by Carroll. The Pioneers will have the possession from the near side corner. Trying to drop a winning play here. 7:06 to go and counting down here in the fourth quarter. If you're just joining us, the Cardinals got off to a blistering start. 7 goals in the first 8 minutes. And the shot clock apparently wasn't running. So they'll restart. There it goes. Cardinals slowed their pace down, and in the process have given up 3 goals to the Pioneers. But a record-breaking night for Jared Weaver, who has 8 goals, breaking the program record of 7 in a game set by Noah Carroll last year. Also has a couple of assists, so 10 points total for number 18. Big time. Big night. 6:35 to go. Pushed ahead. And with it right now is Janak Jano. Near side, Stephen Foe. Observing, now given off to the top and nearly lost. Now picked up. With it is Alec Thrall. First time we've called his name tonight. Ray dishes off. Foe with it. Skirts away from Foe and near midfield, and Foe will be able to pick it up. 13 on the Cardinal shot clock. 5:34 to go in the game. Ray loses it again. And the Pioneers pick it up and push it ahead, but that one's thrown away. Fitzgerald will shade towards the far side and scoop off to Weaver. Cardinal gets obliterated on the play. Didn't see the number on the jersey, but somebody got lit up over the middle. And the shot goes wide, and the Cardinals will get it. There's a rush towards the net for the Pioneers that comes up empty. 4:40 to go, and Cardinals will have it past midfield and at Stephen Foe. Ray with it at the top. Swung around. Backing up is Scheinfeld. Weaver with it, goes behind the net, and that one's a misfire and out of play it goes. 4 minutes even on the clock until this one has expired. Goalie has come very far out of the net. In fact, he's going to take it all the way. Shot goes wide left and out of play, and a penalty marker comes in. How about that play from Thomas Attella? Saying, I'll do it myself. That's pretty spectacular. You don't see that very often. Cardinals will play a man down. Carroll swinging it around. Kirchberger goes cross field and misfires, and that's going to be a turnover. Cardinals will have it. Three minutes to go in the game, and the Cardinals will settle in on the half field, on the offensive side of the field, I should say. That one's snagged, or at least blocked. And now it's loose on the near side. And will roll out of play. Cardinal ball. With it is Shane Todd. Weaver has it. New shot clock for the Cardinals to work with. Can wind this to around a minute. That is, if they're so inclined, at least. Over the middle and missed. Cardinal ball. (17-3). Weaver with 8 goals. 5 belong to Tommy Huizinga. For a while, they were going back and forth as to who was going to have more. I think Weaver won that battle. Huizinga has his pass deflected and not quite picked up. Still loose, in fact. And the Cardinals finally have it. Plonzinski has it and puts it in. All right. Scrapping his way to the twine. Plonzinski.
Number 34, Casimir Plonzinski.
The freshman. Minute 39 to go. Cardinals up 15. Good night for Jay Farrell and his bunch. Face-off won by the Cardinals. Passes lofted to the far side. And the Cardinals cannot quite bleed this one all the way dry.
One minute remaining.
1 minute to go, and the Pioneers trying to scoop it towards midfield, but it's picked up by Scheinfeld instead. Big collision between Ray and a defender, and passes whizzed out of play. 36 seconds on the shot clock, 47 on the game clock.
Congratulations to Jared Weaver of North Central, who set a program record of 8 goals in tonight's contest.
And there it is, the announcement of the program record. Cardinals will simply play catch until the shot clock expires. Ray will likely just drop the ball where it is and give it to the Pioneers. They'll roll it into the corner. 11.7 seconds left. Deep toss down the field. And out of play it goes. Cardinals improved to 8-2. They're now 1-1 in conference play. Carroll drops to 0-11. Up next for the Cardinals, a home date on August 17th. That'll come against Augustana, 7 o'clock start time. We'll have that for you right here on NCTV 17. Our next telecast is tomorrow night, as the women will take the field. We hope you enjoyed the final. It was a big one, 18-3. The Cardinals with the win, their first conference victory of the season. We'll see if they can move to 2-1 on the 17th against Augustana. On that note, we'll say so long. I'm Kevin Jackman. We'll see you next time on NCTV 17.